Thanks for listening to English Go Podcast. To listen without advertisements or to read episode transcripts, visit englishgo.co.uk for more information.
Want to teach your kids financial literacy, but not sure where to start? Greenlight can help. With Greenlight, parents can keep an eye on kids' spending and saving, while kids and teens use a card of their own to build money confidence. As a parent, you can send instant money transfers, set up chores, automate allowance, and more. It's a convenient way to run your household, customized to your family's needs, and the easy way to raise financially smart kids. Get started with Greenlight today and get your first month free at greenlight.com/ACAST.
Millions of people have lost weight with personalized plans from Noom. Like Evan, who can't stand salads and still lost 50 pounds.
Salads generally for most people are the easy button, right? For me, that wasn't an option. I never really was a salad guy. That's just not who I am. But Noom worked for me.
Get your personalized plan today at Noom.com. Real Noom user compensated to provide their story. In 4 weeks, the typical Noom user can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. Individual results may vary.
Hi, it's Mark Bittman from Food with Mark Bittman. Friends, a word from the folks at Whole Foods Market. Customers love shopping at Whole Foods Market on holidays like Thanksgiving and Mother's Day. But the fact is there are lots of ways to save on quality items every day at Whole Foods Market. Here are some of them. You can see the savings for yourself because Whole Foods Market has great everyday prices on customer favorites like responsibly farmed salmon, no antibiotics ever chicken breasts, organic strawberries, organic blueberries, and more. And you don't have to sacrifice quality to save. There are so many ways to save at Whole Foods Market, and now you know.
I'm going to be talking about Kit Kats today. I'm guessing that most people listening to this podcast know what Kit Kats are. In case you don't, they're like a small chocolate bar, and this chocolate bar is divided into 2 or 4 fingers. I think you can get like a giant one as well. There's just one giant finger, giant Kit Kat. I don't know what that's called. But anyway, traditionally, just 4 or 2 finger versions. So the reason I wanted to talk about Kit Kats, and it's not just, I don't just want to do a whole episode about what Kit Kats are and things like that. There's something a bit deeper behind this, which, you'll find out as I'm doing this episode. So Kit Kats, I don't know if you know this, but Kit Kats are British, or I should say Kit Kats were British. They were invented in England in a factory called the Rowntree's factory. That used to make lots and lots of sweets. They've closed down now, sadly. But invented in England in the Rowntree's factory in York, a place called York in England, in 1935. So that's like 88 years ago. So they are very old now. And they were created because one of the workers at the factory suggested, it would be a good idea to make a chocolate bar that a man could take to work in his packed lunch. And the sort of original version of it, it had 4 fingers of chocolate on it. And a year later, they created the 2-finger version of it. For me, when I think of a Kit Kat, it's pretty big. I mean, they have Kit Kats here in Japan. And they're, the length of the Kit Kat, the length of each finger is about half the size of what I'm used to. So imagine, if you're familiar with the Japanese Kit Kats, imagine a Kit Kat that's twice as big, and instead of just having 2 sticks, 2 fingers, it's got 4 instead. So Kit Kats are pretty big. But when I think of a Kit Kat, it doesn't look like the Kit Kat does today. So when I was growing up, Kit Kats were wrapped in foil. So the whole chocolate bar was wrapped in foil, and then there was a paper cover around it. So what you could do is you could sort of slide up one of the fingers out of the paper foil and sort of run your nail along the foil, and then just sort of snap one of them off, snap one of these fingers off, fingers of chocolate, and then you could push it back down inside the paper wrapper. So you could have as many as you wanted, you know. You didn't have to eat the whole 4 fingers at that, you know, because you've opened it. You could sort of like wrap it up and keep it for later if you wanted. All of the modern ones, as far as I'm aware, are now comes in plastic, which is rubbish, really. It's not very good. Not only is it, you know, worse for the environment because it's more plastic, whereas before it was foil, which is easy to recycle, paper, which is easy to recycle. It's a different feeling. If you've never opened a foil Kit Kat before, then you're really missing out. There was just something really fun about just like running your finger down down the middle of one and then like breaking off, you know, a finger of Kit Kat, which you just can't do anymore because they wrap them all up in silly plastic, which is really annoying. So it feels like a step backwards. Instead of improving something, they've actually made it worse. Anyway, at the beginning of this episode, I mentioned that Kit Kats were English. And I don't know how many people actually know that. I was actually eating a Kit Kat this morning, one of the small Japanese ones. I don't know how we got onto the topic, but I was telling my wife that, you know, this used to be owned by the Rowntree's company, who were an English company, you know, and they invented them and so on. And she didn't know. She had no idea that these things were originally English. And I guess you wouldn't, would you? Because they've been bought by a company called Nestle, who I think it's a French company. And a long time ago, this company was known as Nestles in England, which is a weird thing that companies sometimes do. Sometimes they will change their name, like the name of the company, when they're trying to appeal, when they're trying to like please a particular audience. So in this case, I think they're a French company. I'm not 100% sure, but anyway, I think it was a foreign company, you know, not a British company. And the name Nestle, I guess, did not sound very British. So when they came to England for the first time, they changed it to Nestles, and they thought, you know, that sounds more English, more British. So anyway, they've stopped doing that now, and they don't, you know, they don't do things like that anymore. I don't think it's very common. Companies doing that kind of thing these days. I think we just, you know, most people are just happy knowing that something is foreign and it's not a problem. But yeah, certainly a long time ago, that seemed to be fairly common. Or, you know, companies might choose sort of like English-sounding names. Like a foreign company might choose English-sounding names just to appeal to, you know, foreign audience. Anyway, yeah, I didn't want to tell you all about the history of Nestle or anything like that. But what I did want to say is, yes, they bought Rowntree's Kit Kats. And so if you look at a Kit Kat bar today, it says Nestle Kit Kats. But it's not really Nestle Kit Kats. I think it belongs to the company or the person that invented the product. I think just because another company has a lot of money, and they can say to the smaller company, we like your product, we will buy it from you. And the other company sells it and this new company buys it. I don't think that means that you should be able to put your company's name on it, really, because you've got no connection to it. What did you do? You bought it. Well done, you know? You had a lot of money, you bought it from another company, and now you're making it. And this is the main sort of topic that I really wanted to talk about. It's not about Kit Kats. It's about this thing that seems to happen, I'm sure, in every country all over the world, where there will be that particular country's own products or brands or whatever, and then some big, you know, huge company, like a global company with loads of money, will come to that country and then just start buying them. And this has happened in England a lot. Really has happened a lot. There are so many things, so many products and brands that used to be British brands made by British companies, and they've just been sold to foreign companies with more money. Maybe you've heard of Cadbury's chocolate. That's no longer Cadbury's chocolate. It's owned by some company called something like Mondelez or something. I don't know how you pronounce it. And it's a giant American company. There's loads of things. There are almost everything. I mean, the cars as well. We don't really tend to make cars anymore in England. And, some cars like, you may have heard of like Land Rover, Jaguar, and possibly even Rover. I saw a Rover garage in Japan the other day. So there's like 3 car makers that are no longer British. I don't know who's bought them, someone else. There's the Mini, like Mini Coopers. They're owned by BMW now, a German company. So almost everything you can think of. There's very little that's made in England anymore, or that's owned, like produced in England and owned by English companies. And I think this kind of thing is happening all over the world, to many countries, I should imagine. And personally, I don't like it. I like the idea, if something's invented in a country, it should stay in that country, especially something that becomes like really popular, like take the Kit Kat, for example. That's hugely popular all over the world, it would seem. So it would have been nice if it was, if it remained British, if it stayed in the country that invented it. And there's probably many examples as well around the world where, there's some products that have become sort of famous or very well known, and then some companies, come in from foreign country and brought it. And I don't know why it has to happen. I think the government should step in and say, like, no, it's like a protected brand. You can't just buy it. It's not just good enough to just throw money at a company and like take it away. I think something should be protected. Some inventions, some products, foods, whatever, should be protected, because I think all of these things go towards a country's culture, a country's history. And it's just a shame that these things just get sort of thrown away just because of money, just because of some big greedy company who wants to become richer. They don't care about the product. Absolutely not. They care about the money. They've got no desire to like look after the brand, look after the product. But they do have desire to get richer and richer. So if they can find a way to sort of like tweak the product, to alter it, so maybe like change the flavor a bit and use some more, cheaper ingredients so they can make more money, but maybe it makes it taste a little bit worse, but maybe no one's going to notice, they will do that. Absolutely, they will do that. So yeah, like I said, I do think there should be some kind of like protected brand status, especially for something that's old, something that's like been around since the 1930s, and it's got like a lot of, it's tied up in sort of English, well, not English, sorry, it's tied up in that country's culture and history and so forth. I think that should be protected, but sadly it's not. I don't know if any countries do that. If they do, well done. I think that's a good thing. You should keep doing it. But if they don't, maybe you should think about it. Because money, it's not everything in life. And these days it feels, maybe it's because I'm older, I don't know, but it feels like it's even more important somehow. Like money, at least in England, it sort of feels like we all have more money, but all want more money. I mean, I know like things are really difficult at the moment with the state of the England's economy, the UK economy. But it does feel like we've got a lot more in our lives than we used to have, like own a lot more, they've got like everyone's got a smartphone pretty much. Maybe some laptops as well, maybe some tablets, maybe more than one TV, maybe 1 or 2 cars, the list goes on and on. And I'm thinking back to when I was growing up, and I think back then it was still not so common for like a household, like one house to have like more than one car or more than one TV and that kind of thing. So I think we've got a lot more, but I think we want a lot more. So yeah. Anyway, it's a bit of a separate topic, isn't it? Like the topic of money and things like that. But it's all sort of related in a way. It's all money and greed that leads to, selling off these companies with lots of history, and then no one knows anything about them or where they come from or the history of them. It's just a brand that some giant companies bought and doesn't care about and just wants to use to make money. It's rather sad, really, if you think about it. Anyway, if your country has its own unique brands that have been around for a long time, I hope it can look after them and keep them. Anyway, that is it for today's podcast. So until next time, bye-bye.
Want to teach your kids financial literacy, but not sure where to start? Greenlight can help. With Greenlight, parents can keep an eye on kids' spending and saving, while kids and teens use a card of their own to build money confidence. As a parent, you can send instant money transfers, set up chores, automate allowance, and more. It's a convenient way to run your household, customized to your family's needs, and the easy way to raise financially smart kids. Get started with Greenlight today and get your first month free at greenlight.com/ACAST.
Millions of people have lost weight with personalized plans from Noom. Like Evan, who can't stand salads and still lost 50 pounds.
Salads generally for most people are the easy button, right? For me, that wasn't an option. I never really was a salad guy. That's just not who I am. But Noom worked for me.
Get your personalized plan today at Noom.com. Real Noom user compensated to provide their story. In 4 weeks, the typical Noom user can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. Individual results may vary.
Want to teach your kids financial literacy, but not sure where to start? Greenlight can help. With Greenlight, parents can keep an eye on kids' spending and saving, while kids and teens use a card of their own to build money confidence. As a parent, you can send instant money transfers, set up chores, automate allowance, and more. It's a convenient way to run your household, customized to your family's needs, and the easy way to raise financially smart kids. Get started with Greenlight today and get your first month free at greenlight.com/ACAST.
If you want years of better sleep, then you have to upgrade your bedding during Boll & Branch's annual summer event. Right now, you can get Boll & Branch's best-selling, naturally cooling sheets with their best offer of the season. Feel the difference night after night of light and breathable sheets made with the highest quality materials. Shop the Boll & Branch annual summer event now for 20% off site-wide. Plus free shipping on your first set of sheets at bollandbranch.com with code BUTTERY. Limited time only. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
Planning for your next trip? Elevate your travel style with Quince. Quince has all the jet-setting essentials you'll want for your next getaway, like European linen, premium luggage options, buttery soft Italian leather bags, and so much more. And is all priced at 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Plus, Quince only works with factories that use safe and ethical manufacturing practices. Pack your bags with high-quality essentials you'll be wearing for vacations to come with Quince. Go to quince.com/pack for free shipping and 365-day returns.
Thanks for listening until the very end of the show. If you've enjoyed this episode, please give my podcast a rating, or if you have the time, write a review. It's a really nice way of letting me know you enjoy these episodes and encourages me to make more of them for you. Thanks very much and have a lovely day.